Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's episode of the Being Podcast. It is a safe space that I've created for us to come to where we can discuss and think about and maybe tweak, if we need to, how we believe, how we engage, how we innovate, how we navigate, and how we gain across every area of our lives. I am your girl, Jada. Welcome to this week's quick episode. Just wanted to say really fast that I had a special guest, as I teased last week, and we did the whole episode and then technology just kind of got in the way, right? So as I have learned in my life, we learn how to adapt, improvise, and overcome, right? Or even adapt. How do we adapt to what's thrown our way and overcome those obstacles, right? And keep pushing. So fear not, we are going to re-record next week and we will release our episode where we're going to get into talking about our mindset, our bodies, our spirit / soul, right? Because she is also an amazing coach, woman, friend, accountability partner, all the things. So I promise you, we will be back next week with that brand new episode. But this week you have me, and I am not going to take long because I don't have a lot of time and I don't want to take a lot of your time. I just wanted to breathe, right? I'm always saying, take a beat, take a breath, slow down, or as my husband says, go slow to go fast. And I just wanted to do that for myself because life happens to all of us. There are times, if you're like me, very type A, very driven, very like, okay, I need to do this, and you try to even, plan for things kind of getting in the way, but life still happens, right? And what do we do in those moments? How do we continue to own our power, own our strength, stand up for ourselves, and do it in a way that is not aggressive, not abrasive, but it is assertive and it is in a confident way so people understand what you stand for, who you stand for, right? How do we do that where we are able to convey our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our desires, our wants, all of those things when it feels like everything is coming against us? So I just want to take a minute to think about that and to talk about it because I am not immune to life happening, right? As you know, we lost our parents a couple of years ago now, which is crazy how fast time goes. So I'm not immune to losing loved ones, losing parents. In my lifetime, I've talked about IVF and having to go that route to get my babies, but I suffered from miscarriages, right? I was not immune from that. I was older getting married. So I was not immune from feeling like love was, never going to happen for me. I have been there, and those things that I feel that I want and I desire and my heart is aching for, and it didn't happen at the time I thought it should happen, right? So I'm not immune to that. And I've talked about taboos, and we have to realize that just because we were taught certain things, that things are not going to fall on our plate, that things are not going to come into our lives, that we are going to have to learn how to work through, like accept, work through, push through, and come out even stronger on the other side, right? So I am saying all of that to say, in the midst of you trying to find out who you are at your core, right? We're all still about who are we, that self-identity at our core. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you want out of life? What are your goals and your dreams and your aspirations? How do we do that? As we're thinking about how do I communicate that? How do I voice not only to myself and my negative, limiting, mind trash? So how do I talk nicer to myself? But how do I also explain to my support group, like, this is what I need, this is what I would like, this is what I desire, so that they can help to assist you in reaching that goal? And then how do you get after executing that? And as I say now, how are you being consistent? How are you showing up for yourself and showing up for those dreams and those goals? And now this week is, and how do you deal with adversity when it comes? When people look at you and say, well, why do you think that you should be able to have XYZ? Who are you? Why you and not me? They're not understanding your sacrifices. They're not understanding like your blood, sweat, and tears and just all the stuff that you've put in to accomplish those end states. That is what they see, right? They're like, oh, so you got a house, you got a car, you got a husband, you got this, you got that, you got all this. How you get that? And now what can I come in and do to you to knock you down a peg? Because they are thinking a certain way about you. So how do we deal with those moments? How do we deal with you feel that you are on the straight and narrow and doing all the things that you've been called to do, to have someone slander your name, or to have someone start rumors about you and gossiping about you? Like, how do you deal with that? When it does come back around and you're just like, I thought that person was my friend, or I thought that I was doing the right thing. Like, I know what my intention is. So how is that getting skewed in somebody else's mind? And so we have these thoughts and we have these emotions and these feelings, but then it's like, how do we cope and deal with that? So that's what I want to get into. To be honest with you, 100% transparent, because that's what I like to do. This was not even a subject in my notebook, right? So I typically try to write down topics that are important to me, things that I've been through, things that I want to share that I think would be of some sort of help to anyone that's listening, or if you share it with somebody. And if you do, thank you. But this wasn't even on my radar because Jada thought she was doing all the things that she needed to do to be not only in the right state of mind, doing things where I can incorporate things for myself, whether that's working out, drinking more water, trying to eat a little bit better, doing those things for my body, and then like doing the things to connect for my soul, which is to live in this purpose of helping in and pouring into other incredible women, right? So Jada's on this path and she's doing this. I know I talk about myself in third person sometimes, but I really thought I was doing all the things and doing them in a way that connected with people, that related to people, and all the while just staying focused on that, right? And not understanding that not everybody's going to be happy for me, right? Like my husband used to say, your friends don't want to know all your business. Like, everybody doesn't necessarily want to see you happy. Not your friends, but because they definitely should, but not everybody in the world that's around you or sees you want what's best for you. Not everybody wants you to win. And while I understand that, I guess up until this point, I never really had that impact where it was so blatant and so undermining and so just nasty and dirty, and just in a way where I'm like, is Ashton Kutcher around here? Like, am I being punked? Right? So I've had to deal with a few things over this last 18 months or so. And, I am human. And as my shirt says, I know unless you're watching me, you don't see this, but I have this shirt that I love to wear. It's a sweatshirt, and it says perfectly imperfect, because none of us are perfect. None of us gets it right 100% of the time, and none of us ever will. If spoiler alert, like, if you thought you were going to be perfect, you're not. We just aim to be our best, right? Like I tell Olivia, just continue to do your best. Continue to live your life in, integrity, which is one of my favorite words, being honest with yourself, with other people, making sure that you are trustworthy, right? So people can turn to you to be what they probably need in their lives, right? Because people come from different walks. So just being and living and thriving in a way that can bring glory to God in my case, and that also just really empowers, inspires, motivates other people, right? So I've been trying to walk that walk and live that life. And yes, I've had to talk to my therapist about how my parents, they'd be like, that's great that out of 100 you made a 98, but what happened to those two? What happened with those? What went wrong? And I was taking this up until like literally like a year ago. I was really taking this as like, they just wanted me to be perfect. And that's not the case, right? They're just like, we want you to be your best. at all times. Like they tried to set the stage and the environment for me to succeed. And they were great at that. And I love them, and I'm so honored that they did that for me. But moving forward, it's like it's not about me being perfect. It's not about me getting it right all the time, but it is about me doing my best and living that life, and then understanding that adverse things are going to come. So as I am living through this, right? So now I'm just sharing with you what I'm living and breathing and having to deal with and how I'm coping with it, right? Because if you're like me and there's that fleshly side of us that's like, screw you, forget you, I'm gonna get you back, right? Then there's the tears because, I'm a crier. There's the tears and there's just the feeling violated and feeling like either misunderstood. It's feeling frustrated and sad and disappointed, all of those things. And allowing myself, and just like I will share with you now, and I share with my baby, share with my girlfriends, like when something happens to you, right? Something that you're not expecting, something that's hurtful or just nothing positive, right? If it's affecting you, give yourself the moment, or moments if you need it, to deal with it however you need to deal with it legally. Okay, we're not going out hurt nobody, damaging property, none of that. But for me, I need to have a good cry. I need to talk to a few people, and I am not perfect. So if I'm mad, I'm either crying or I'm cussing. And if I'm crying and cussing, then I'm really mad, right? But to have my close network of people that I can do that with, to vent, to get it out, to say what I need to say, that works for me. So maybe for you, it's journaling. Maybe for you, it's just getting in a quiet room and meditating. Maybe it's eating ice cream or chocolate, or, getting in the car and just taking a ride. Gas prices are fluctuating, but, I used to do that. Like my babies were going crazy. I'm like, let's get in the car, let's take a ride, right? Just to reset. But whatever that looks like for you, maybe you just go for a run. Like whatever it is that helps you to start processing this adverse action that's coming toward you, take the time to do that, and do not feel guilty for it. And don't even try to freaking explain it to nobody, because it's not their business. This is for you to figure out how to process through what's coming your way, right? So that for me is step number one. Okay, it comes in, the information comes in, and I'm like, what the heck? As my baby boy likes to say, what the heck? I'm talking to my close friends, or I'm crying, or I'm venting. I'm just trying to get it out. And so then the next step for me is like, okay, then what is the end result I want to see from this? What is it that I need to rectify? What is it that I need to change? What is it that I am trying to like reverse or to just tweak so that it will feel better for me, right? Because we can't always change everything, but what impacts can we have on that? It doesn't mean that something happened to you, so you just have to take it and like it, right? What can I do that's going to impact and affect and change that outcome that right now is not sitting well with my soul, right? So I kind of go there, and then I start backwards planning from that. Okay, what are the resources I need? Who do I need to talk to? What information do I need? Because knowledge is power. And how do I make sure that I use that to my advantage to get to that end state? So if that's fact finding, yep, go to Google or talk to someone who may have been through it, or whoever can help you to understand what your rights are. So, and then y'all, it's about taking action. And now when it's time for me to do that, it has to be done in a way that is going to sit well with me in the way that I deliver it, which is a big thing for me, right? My delivering. I don't want to deliver it when I'm crying, fussing, cussing, mad. But I do want to make sure that when I get ready to articulate it, that I have lined up everything, crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, and I'm ready to move forward. So I just wanted to put that out there today. I know that every day is not a good day. I try to get on here and try to be uplifting and encouraging and inspiring and motivate you all, empower you to take your power back. And I too fall into that. I too have coaches that I listen to when business isn't going the way I want it to go, or maybe how it could go, right? I talk to people that are in the fitness arena when I'm like, hey, I'm trying to lose this little bit of a gut. What do I need to do? And we're trying to tweak what I'm eating and drinking. Like, you go to those people that have lived it and done it and can help you to get to your end state. And that is another big thing that I will continue to push this season on the podcast. So I just also want you to know that when you are faced with something and you're going through it, you're not alone. And I think a lot of times that's where we get, right? We feel that we're alone. Nobody's listening to us. How do we figure that out? How do we make it better? And we don't have to work in a vacuum alone. So please never feel that way. Reach out to somebody, phone a friend, or get in a group, maybe on, any social media platform, or maybe church groups or mommy groups if you're a mom, but find that space that is safe and comfortable that you can go and just get that out, and then to seek good counsel that you can take. But just know that you're not alone, and know that I definitely say this to myself a lot. If God brought you to it, he will bring you through it. And it's that part of like trying to get through it that is really tough. And just know, Jada faces that too. Another thing that I am not immune to feeling upset and feeling frustrated and feeling judged and feeling all of those things when I know that my intent and my heart is in the right space, right? So if that is you, be encouraged today that you're not alone. Be encouraged that you will get through this. Be encouraged that you do not have to just lay down and take it. That is not what we have to do. And just know that there are steps that you can take to, get to your end state in the most efficient and effective way. And then, as they say, after you get through your test, you'll have a testimony, right? And you can help the next person, help pick them up and bring them through so that they're not having to go in those same pitfalls as you may have been drug into, because clearly we're not trying to jump into these ditches, right? So with that, I am going to get out of here. I hope this has been helpful for somebody. Again, not my normal talk, but I do share even real time situations because I feel that it can reach somebody, it can impact somebody, or at least that's my hope for being here and using this platform and showing up each and every week. And next week, y'all, we will be back. I promise. We're going to figure it out, even if we have to use a different system to make sure that y'all can hear us, because it's going to be, we had a great time recording and it just didn't pan out, but it's going to be very encouraging, very enlightening, maybe a little emotional, but it's going to be so worth it. So be sure to join next week to listen in with me and Miss Louisa. And I will see y'all then. And if you believe in prayer, send one up for your girl. All right. All right. I love y'all. Take care. And if you're watching, I'll see you next week. And if you're listening, I will chat with you later. Bye.